Another bomb in Sri Lanka's capital, Colombo, yet more evidence that the 2002 ceasefire agreement is now dead. When he took office, President Mahinda Rajapaksa promised to bring with him an honourable peace. But 18 months later, the military standoff with the Tamil Tigers is as intractable as ever. I'm Taimur Nabili, and on this edition of 101 East, I speak to the President of Sri Lanka and ask him just how is he going to solve more than 20 years of bitter civil strife. Sinhalese, Tamils and Muslims have coexisted in Sri Lanka for thousands of years, mostly in peace. But it was British colonial rule in particular that emphasised ethnic differences. And even after independence in 1948, the tensions between the communities continued to mount. Amid increasingly frequent clashes, Prime Minister Bandaranaike declared a state of emergency in 1961, fearful of a repeat of the vicious riots of 1958, sparked by the rising Sinhalese nationalism and the decision to drop English as the official language. The Tamils feared elevation of Sinhalese as the language of government would minimize their political and economic influence. The 1970s saw the emergence of a new leader, Velupillai Prabhakaran, who rallied Tamil militants under the banner of the Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam and initiated a rapid escalation in violence. Full-scale civil war erupted in the 1980s, with Prabhakaran demanding complete autonomy from Colombo, a Tamil national homeland that would divide the island. The following 20 years of bloody standoff claimed the lives of more than 60,000 people, including a vast number of civilians. But in 2001, Prabhakaran abruptly dropped the demand for independence and entered negotiations, which led to the ceasefire agreement of 2002 signed by the then Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. Despite numerous reports of violations, the fragile truce held for nearly 4 years and sparked an economic boom. But just weeks after Mahinda Rajapaksa assumed the post of president in late 2005, the Tigers began once again to escalate their operations. And after some months of attempted negotiation, Rajapaksa finally hit back hard. Mr. President, the Tamil Tigers launched their first attack against your government and against the Sri Lankan people only weeks after you came to power. Why do you think it was that after so long of adhering to the peace plan, they suddenly decided to start attacking again?
They would have thought that it was a weakness of mine, that I could be defeated. That was a good opportunity for them to establish a separate state. They would have believed that.
Is it possible that for Prabhakaran, war or continuing conflict is actually a preferred option, because only by convincing the northern population that they are under attack can he convince them to support his movement? If there were no attacks from the government, the population would lose the need for his command.
Like I said before, he thought that we were weak, that the state is weak, that he is strong. But now he has come to a point where he has accepted that. He has lost the ease. Prabhakaran does not represent the aspiration of the Tamil people. What he represents is the interest of a small group, not the needs of the Tamil people. The Tamil people do not want a war. They want peace. The government does not need a war. The government wants peace.
Is there any level of dialogue at all between your government and the LTTE right now?
Actually, at present, there are no talks at any level. As a government, we cannot have talks. We say that we are ready for talks always.
You don't see any value in dialogue?
We are always ready for talks, always, even today. Even while the fighting goes on, I'm ready for talks.
මේ සටන් යන අතර සාකච්ඡාවට උනත් මම ලෑස්ති.
Even being armed, the way they are behaving today, we are ready to go forward.
Well, when you say you're prepared to talk, are you prepared to instigate, to initiate dialogue?
Definitely. If the LTTE is ready, two hands to clap.
Have you made the offer?
I'm ready if Prabhakaran is ready. We have said that very clearly. I'm ready, but I am not prepared to kneel before the terrorism of the LTTE. I have said that many times. If I'm attacked, I will counter-attack. That is what we have done at every occasion.
We have then face-off. How does one get around what seems to be an intractable problem?
Actually, in this instance, and at every other instance, we have said, come and commence talks with us. We are ready. We have offered a political solution to the people. Along with the political solution, we are prepared to talk. But what the LTTE wants, to keep their arms and divide the country into two, that I cannot allow.
Do you think the Sri Lankan people would rather see a victory against the Tamil Tigers or a peace agreement with the Tamil Tigers?
The people have been battered by the LTTE for many years. It has come to a point where the LTTE cannot be trusted. If the people are asked, they will say, defeat the LTTE and talk. But I'm ready to talk with the LTTE from the other side. This question is a question not faced in any other country, where a head of state asks Prabhakaran to talk.
So you're saying that you think that the Sri Lankan people would prefer a defeat of the LTTE? First. Opinion polls seem to suggest that peace is much more important to the Sri Lankan people.
For the people, LTTE, peace. The people want peace. That is the truth. Without defeating the LTTE, without defeating the terrorism of LTTE, there is no politics in this. There is a political side and a terrorism here. This is a terrorist group. The people are aware that as long as a terrorist organization exists, that negotiation will not be successful. They are making use of the negotiation to strengthen themselves, to bring in arms. This is a historical fact. Historically, because the people have been battered. Today, we have to be very careful.
So let me be clear on this. What you're saying is that there must first be military victory and then peace talks.
No.
That is not good.
That is not what I hope for. Until the terrorists are weakened, they will not come for talks. As long as they think they are strong, they will try to break up the country. Today, what we hope is to fulfill the aspiration of the Tamil people.
What do you mean by weakened? At what point will you accept that the Tamil Tigers are weakened? Because it's now been over a year of
even under today's circumstances, clearly said what the people expect. But what I expect is not that. I said that even today, I am ready to negotiate. Very clearly. My argument is that terrorism has to be got rid of. We cannot kneel down to that. I'm not prepared to kneel down to their arms capability.
ඔවුන්ගේ ආයුධ බලයටවත් මම දන ගහන්න සූදානම්. නමුත් දෙමළ ජනතාවගේ
But I'm committed to ensuring the rights of the Tamil people. That I will achieve somehow.
කොහොම හරි කරනවා.
I apologize, I'm not really following you. You say the terrorism must be defeated, but you don't think that a military victory is necessary.
සම්පූර්ණම
Absolutely. A victory is essential against terrorism.
ජයග්‍රහණයක් අවශ්‍යයි. ඒක වෙනම පැත්තක්.
That is a different story. But because we need to meet the aspiration of the Tamil people, I am prepared to go for talks with the terrorists. I have come to that point. Has any other world leader said that?
ඒ තත්ත්වයටම මම ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවාද? ලෝකේ වෙන රටක නායකයෙක් කියනවාද?
Could you then describe a situation under which both those things can be achieved, defeat of the terrorists and representation of the Tamil people? See, what I'm struggling to understand here is if the defeat of terrorism is a key element of your strategy, and yet dialogue is also a key element of your strategy, how do you see those two working together? Which comes first, and how do you proceed?
දැන් අපි මුලින් සාකච්ඡා කරන්න හැදුවේ මොකද්ද? ත්‍රස්තවාදයේ ඒ තුවක්කු ළඟ තියාගෙන අපිත් එක්ක සාකච්ඡා කරන්න අපි සූදානම් වුණා.
Now we try to talk at the beginning. While keeping their arms, we were prepared to talk. When we went to Geneva, they killed innocent people.
ඒ මරද්දිත් මම සාකච්ඡා කරා.
Even while they were killing, I negotiated.
ලෝකයේ අනිත් රටවල් එක්ක හසංසනකොට වෙනස් ස්වරූපයක් තියෙනවා.
I think if you were to compare with other countries, you will see a difference. In other countries, there will be no negotiation. But we have been prepared. We have negotiated. We have shown that. We are genuinely ready to do that. But they must give up terrorism. They must enter a democratic framework. Without that, that is what we expect to achieve through negotiation. It was clear during our negotiation with them that they have no interest in negotiating because they believe they can win this war. That they can divide this country into two. That is their strong belief. Prabhakaran's belief.
Mr. President, if we could just take a short break for a moment. You're watching 101 East. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.